Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday with Bob and Phineas. I'm your
Good
host,
afternoon,
Bob,
everybody.
as many of you may know, and we have Phineas along with us.
Good
Hi,
afternoon,
Phineas.
everybody. How are you today?
We're good. We're good. As I mentioned to you earlier, it's cloudy, raining here, mild but balmy, 70 degrees. How's things where you're at?
It's pretty cool here. It's rainy and about 50 degrees here, so not typical May weather here where we're at. So
Yeah, short sleeve and shorts, flip flops.
afraid not. No. Flannel shirts, cozy footwear. Yep.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Uh, Nothing wrong with that, Phineas. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. So, how was your weekend?
It was a pretty busy weekend for both Mike and I. Mike has been asked to perform at a concert, and he had 15 songs to learn over 3 days and get them up for performance level. So that's what he did Saturday night was perform at a concert, and then yesterday both Mike and I went to see the movie Thunderbirds. So we had a nice relaxing time. So.
I would say that's a busy but productive weekend for sure. Yeah, we worked on the house. That seems to be the theme around here. Springtime, trying to take care of the weather. While the weather's nice, take care of things. So anyway, it was fun. Enjoyed it. Just enjoy being outside this time of year. It's such a beautiful time of year. Interstate was sunny, 80s, and so why not get out, right?
Get at it before it gets too hot and humid during the summer months. So there you go.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right, well, we want to do something a little bit different today. We want to start off first with a video that we put together. It's short, just 1 minute video, but it is in remembrance of Santa Jim Petty, a friend of mine who passed away recently. They had his memorial service today. His daughter did, and wonderful. They went ahead and streamed the service, and so we're just going to play a little video clip here real quick, and we'll be right back. Jim was well known in the Kansas region, not only for his circle track racing history, his family, but also as a mentor to many in the Santa community. He was a Santa for close to 40 years. And I remember when him and Dan Hagenbach came to another Kansas Santa, came to our Set Bob's class in Edmond in 2020. He brought, as I said there in that little video clip, photo albums, newspaper clippings, and he just was so excited to share with me their racing background from the Kansas area, and I was fascinated. We sat for oh gosh, I can't tell you how long we sat there and looked through his stuff, and he shared something with me that day. He said, he said I've been Santa 30 plus years and never been to a school. He said, but I didn't think I needed one until I got here. And he said, now I realize how important it is. And he said, just today alone, I have learned so much. And he's thank you for putting these on. It was an inspiration to him because he went back to Kansas, went back to Wichita, and started doing Santa mentoring and putting together a 1 day educational Santa class, and has done it for a number of years. Spangle goes over for his event. Scott Saratin goes up for his event, and a lot of folks in the Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri region would go, and it was always a fun time. I didn't get to make it, was hoping to, but he suddenly passed away last week, I guess it was. Anyway, just a little tribute to him. All right, do we have our inspirational video for the week, Angie?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna play that next.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B here with you again today. And today I would like to encourage you to be courageous. Be courageous in your portrayal of whatever character you may be working on, whether it be Santa or Mrs. Claus or an elf or whatever. Take time to be patient and courageous with your performance. Be willing to step out and try something new. We have so many opportunities with all the programming of T&L Productions, all the schools that are available like North Pole Cornerstones and School of Santas, and even the online opportunities to just keep learning more and then to step out of our own comfort zone and courageously do something different. You never know what little different change you might make that will impact someone greatly. Be blessed, be well.
Very good inspirational moment there. I like that very, very much.
Thank you as always, Rob. Really inspirational and wonderful. So thank you for sharing once again.
Very much so. All right. You know what? That kind of made me a little bit hungry. You ready to let's jump into this something burger?
I do believe so. Time for something burger.
Let's do it.
So we've been talking about opportunities for photos and other opportunities that provide you the chance to spread the magic of the holiday season with you. And here is where we're going to ask you if you have ever had a photo of you as your Christmas character with a live reindeer or using the combination of a reindeer and sleigh. And do you believe that it is a tool that you would use to promote your Christmas portrayal business? If the opportunity was offered, would you attend? And what if it was accompanied by a presentation that would be presented explaining all things reindeer that you would never know? So would you be interested in having the opportunity to learn more about reindeer? And would you be interested in having the opportunity to have your photo taken with a reindeer and perhaps even a reindeer in a sleigh as your Claus self or as your Christmas performer self?
Yeah, I know there are quite a few times that I have seen where different workshops or study groups or classes, whatever you want to call them, has had live reindeer, and it is definitely a special moment as a Santa who had never interacted with a reindeer before to actually get to first watch the presentation from a reindeer farm, a very knowledgeable presentation about everything that you thought you might have known, and I didn't know anything compared to what I learned. Very informative, and then get to go out and have photos taken with those reindeer. It was pretty special. How about you, Phineas?
I've been very lucky up here in where I'm at, in that I actually have a friend who has a reindeer farm, and going back to when my partner Larry started working as Santa, that he always had opportunities to pose with the reindeer and get to learn about the reindeer and what makes them tick as wild creatures and as animals. And then more recently, I've attended events at Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm in Michigan. If any of you have watched Dr. Pole on TV, he is actually one of their veterinarians. And I have had a chance to have my picture taken with reindeer both in and out of character. And it's a remarkable experience. And definitely being able to show Phineas with a reindeer has been a way of showing the magic of Christmas. And here I am. Here's Phineas with a reindeer and with a little bit of magic to create the evidence of snow and a glowing nose. And that looks like that. Is that you, Bob, with a reindeer?
That's me. Yes, sir, it is. That was the opportunity in Edmond when we had reindeer, and there's the great late Gordon Bailey in his Hall of Fame jacket, and one of my very absolute favorite pictures of Gordon.
But yes, having a photo with a reindeer, particularly as your Claus self or as your Christmas performer persona, definitely gives you a chance to share the magic and just sort of go, have an answer. Do you work with a reindeer? Why, yes, here I do. Here's a photo of me with, in my case, I would say it's Rudolph because of the glowing nose. I do believe that's actually Angel I was with, and it was wonderful working with a reindeer and a photographer at the same time. Three very wild variables: Phineas, a photographer, and a reindeer together.
Very much so. When we had ours, the photos that you saw, Nick, the gentleman owned the reindeer and owns the farm there in Oklahoma, he had brought animal crackers, carnival crackers, circus crackers, whatever you want to call them, cookies. They're called so many things. Everybody knows what they are. They're in a little little cardboard box with a little string on it that. But he had talked about how much they loved those. So we knew ahead of time. So we all brought either the bags or the little boxes to kind of send back home with Nick and the reindeer. So they brought a baby. Wasn't very old. He was very tiny. And then the reindeer that you see would could perform somewhat. He had a bale of hay, and he would stand in front of the bale of hay, and the reindeer would step up over him, stick his head over here next to him, and it was just a pretty cool experience. Another late great, Adolphus Lee Day, Santa Adolphus. We had been given the animal crackers to give to the reindeer, and Adolphus decided he was going to put one in his lips and let the reindeer take it from his lips. Of course, they got a little bit of a tongue lashing afterwards from Nick, who didn't know he was going to do it and told him how dangerous that was. But it was absolute, and I should have included that picture. I know I've got it somewhere, but it looks like the reindeer is giving Adolphus a kiss. It was so cute, so amazing. But I don't advise doing that, folks. Don't try that at home.
No, they do carry certain illnesses that can be commuted to humans. So you got to be very careful when you're around them. So.
And they can be cantankerous. I don't know if any of you have seen the GIF that's on Facebook or that you can pick up in your GIF of a Santa wrestling with a reindeer that's spinning Santa around like he's a rag doll.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone had a chance to see that. And I had it, and I was going to try to load it up, but being a GIF, it wouldn't let me put it in the StreamYard. So
yeah, and I really I mean they look so small because they are tiny reindeer. They are not very large animals, but they are definitely very strong, and they are very willful. So yeah,
and cantankerous. That was the thing that Nick expressed to Adolphus, was that the reindeer may seem gentle, but the least little thing can set them off. And he had talked about different episodes that he had with his reindeer, even being the caretaker and trusting them 100%. They can still be cantankerous. So anyway, let's see what everybody else had to say.
So Robert Auer said yes, he has worked with reindeer, so that is wonderful. Sean White notes that she has taken pictures with live reindeer and learned from the owners. The children love the pictures, and having the knowledge has helped her talk about life at the North Pole, the barns, and the reindeer and their babies.
Right.
Santa Doug noted that he has purchased and refurbished his own sleigh last year for parades, and he's learned a lot about reindeer from an interview that Matt Spalding did on North Pole Radio.
Yes.
And Santa Doug is incredible with building his own props and for storytelling. And he's created his own reindeer story box that includes fur, antler, and cards that help teach children about reindeer. He has never been to a reindeer farm or have a photo, but he'd love to do so in the future. So,
Well, Doug, if things work out, you may have that opportunity soon. We'll talk more about that when the opportunity. I mean, we've got the yes from Nick, but we just got to get everything else set up. So we'll let you know on that, Doug.
yep. Santa Bill from Northern Ontario says he would love to have that opportunity to have a photo done with the reindeer and learn more about them. Charlie Johnson notes that Stuff for Santa, our friend the clown, has a large 8x10 reindeer photos of each reindeer. He also has pocket sets too. So if you aren't able to carry the big flashcards with you, you've got the pocket size sets. He does sell them in bulk if you want to use them as handouts, which sometimes I do if I have a especially good child that pays attention.
And I might add to that, Phineas, each year now for going on, I believe this will be the 4th year straight, could be the 5th year straight. Miranda Ritter with the Reindeer Farm up near Spangle comes in and does a presentation for Spangle at School of Santa's.
Yep.
Fantastic. She's charming, witty, has great stories and vast knowledge, and we always enjoy her presentation as well. But she doesn't bring live reindeer, so.
No. Ernie Russo says that he has had pictures with reindeer and an educational class. He uses the pictures to tell stories and ask children questions what they may know, and also give them a bit of an education about Rudolph, reindeer. He keeps a set of antlers with him as he was just 3 years old. The children get to pass them around, and each picture has a little story that he can use to fill up if he's got a long gig. So always creative, Ernie. Thank you. Bart Gaffney notes that he gets to work with live reindeer quite a bit, including in the off season. So, and Joseph Cunningham in Illinois says he got to meet a reindeer as well, a real cutie, and he has pictures to prove it. Wonderful creatures. And Charlie Johnson notes that he also gets to see the reindeer at Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm during the MAPS retreats, as well as at Charles W. Howard.
Dana has one there.
Dana Prestrello notes that for the Southern folks, Northern Lights Santa Academy in Atlanta always has a live reindeer for photography in their August school. And welcome, Sal. Nice to see you.
Yes. Two of the things I think that I took away from Nick the first year that I saw his presentation was him talking about the different antlers and the way they shed them, and he brings different styles of antlers as props to pass around, and as he talks about them, different years and the different ways that they grow and the thickness and distance of them. I think the one thing that children love the most when you start talking about reindeer, and it's just something that you can do at even at a short visit, is about their hair being like hollow, like and holds air, and they can float for days.
Yep.
In the water. So pretty cool.
Always really cool. You talk about how their feet change shape during the winter and the spring,
Yep.
so they can walk on the snow and also not sink into the ground. So lots of interesting facts and tricks about the reindeer and how they've adapted to where they live. So always
click, click, click
from
their tendons.
Yep.
It's another one that children don't know when you tell them. Okay, well, fantastic. Good answers there. Glad to see that a lot of folks have had the opportunity to get out and experience live reindeer. They are a creature that is in the wild. The herds are phenomenal, as we mentioned in last week's segment. But let's see, Sean just put up another one here.
Yep, a couple of the yearly businesses that Sean works with hires the company that brings in reindeer. Joseph Cunningham notes that reindeer have fur on their noses, and yes, they do. Warm. Yep.
Another good one. Good one.
And also, it's the female reindeer that keep their antlers in the winter. So
that's correct.
Yep.
And the reason for that being, from what I understand, is to protect their babies after the herd. After the babies are born, they keep them. The males shed early. Females keep them for protection.
Yep.
Well, very good. All right, let's move along. We're just clicking right along today. Let's go ahead and jump into our santascloset.org. We'll be back with trivia right after this.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob and Phineas Live, the show about nothing. Season 4 of Bob and Phineas is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central, presented by TNL Network Productions. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob and Phineas in the TNL studios in today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Hey, you know what? It's May, Phineas, and that can mean a lot of things, but there's one very important day in May.
It is indeed. Everybody has a mother, and it coming up actually this next weekend actually is Mother's Day. And so we have a trivia question coming
It's an
up.
easy one.
It's an easy one, but there is still some trivia to have to look up for folks. So for this year in 2025, what day and date is Mother's Day celebrated in the United States in 2025, and who founded Mother's Day in the United States? So once again, which day and date will Mother's Day be celebrated this year in the United States and in Canada? And who founded Mother's Day in the United States?
Yeah, it's still easy, fairly. Like you said, they will have to probably look up the second part of that, but
Yep. We can't give it to them. So
I can't get it down. And I was in an easy mood this week, so I didn't feel like making it too hard for everyone. But yes, Mother's Day. There is 2 days out of the year when restaurants are most busiest. Their busiest 2 productive days of the year, and that's Valentine's and Mother's Day. So
yes,
that's a testament to the moms and the ladies in our lives. So they don't want to cook on their day.
and they likely don't want the men to cook either. So
this is very true. Very true. Well, there are some guys that are talented enough, and hey, I'm great at peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
there you go.
Very easy. Okay. That was fun. All right, guys, get your answer in on that one. Looks like we already got some good answers coming in. So love it, love it, love it. Let's move along and play our next 2 videos back to back for our promotion. jump into Elf and Chatterbox news here next. Just want to say thank you to Larry Talbot and to Joey and Priscilla over at Caboose for their contributions. Both of those are a contributor to the TNL network, and we appreciate them very, very much. Couldn't do it without the help, and they have come on board to help us out, and we appreciate it.
We are truly
Okay.
grateful for their support.
Yes, absolutely. All right, now let's get into that Elf and Chatterbox news. We'll talk a little bit today about TNL Network Productions on the road convention, 32nd reunion over in California this next year, 2026. Dates have been chosen. Location has been chosen. I don't think that has been made public yet, so I won't mention it here, but great venue and a great date. So as soon as that becomes available for public, I will announce that here also. We'll have 2 booths, and we'll also be covering the convention and the vendors during the celebration being held at the Stylish Hotel. And we'll mention that Spangle and Jetta, schoolforsantas.com, will also be there as well with their traveling store of goods and wares. As soon as it is updated, it will be on the Forbes website at ForbesSantaReunion.com. Forbes Santas, plural, reunion.com. Get that straight. Okie dokie, Phineas.
And coming up May 14th through 16th of 2025 in Medina, Ohio, which is close to Cleveland, join Deanna Golden and Judith Broderick for Santa Nana Holiday University. They will be presenting another round of Santa Nana Holiday University in Medina, Ohio. And that is close to Castle Noel. And I understand that week there's also a special event at Castle Noel for Christmas performers. And then a date that had been postponed, they will be in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is close to Chicago, September 18th to 21st, 2025. So once again, Deanna and Judith will be hosting Santa Nana Holiday University, postponed from earlier this month in September 18th to 21st in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yep.
And then coming up in July 17th through 20th, our friend Spangle the Clown will be hosting School of Santas in Branson, Missouri, with the keynote instructor, Lee Andrews. Lee Andrews has a wonderful breadth of experience and knowledge despite his youth. He was just in Denver with Clowns of America and did an entire day of Christmas performance workshops for them. And Sean White will also be presenting at Branson, Missouri. And we all know the clown's got lots of tricks and surprises up his sleeve for everybody who attends. So be sure to sign up and join.
Yeah, he's got some new vendors coming this year. He's expanded. Going to move some of the smaller vendors out into the hallway. It's a hallway. It's kind of a foyer hallway combined for the convention center there. So going to be a great time. Looking forward to it. Days are clicking away. Again, the last I heard, he had like 3 seats left. But if you think you might want to go, get your name on the waiting list, if nothing else, because there are going to be around 125 folks there this year, and it just keeps growing. The problem is he's, he can't really add any more because he's used up all that convention space. I know the first year Susan Mesco was there, she had around 30 something people for the very first inaugural class that Spangle put on. Next year, Gordon Bailey and myself taught there. We had 40 plus students, and the next year it went to almost 100. So it tripled in 3 years. So fantastic. Always a good time. Okay, let's see. Our upcoming guest for tomorrow night is a great one. I know a lot of folks know Bruce and Kathy Norwood, professional Claus performers, MAPS members. Bruce has got so much experience, and Kathy as well. Such a delightful couple. Looking forward to that one tomorrow night. Great script put together, great questions. So join us tomorrow night for that. Okay, that means it's time to get the shovel out.
Indeed. And a shovel and I'll be doing so.
Yep, that's correct. So let's run the lead in, and we're going to come back with the editorial.
Hey, everybody. There's been a lot of commentary about what I've been doing over the past few weeks. Some of it excited, some of it going, what's with the puppet? And I just figured that I would kind of go back to the initial presentation I gave when I started around 10 weeks ago and go from there. Over the past 10 weeks, we've been working together in the process of developing a character for a puppet. A lot of people these days are talking about the importance of building a backstory and developing a character that is unique to your portrayal as a holiday character. However, there's not a lot of information about this, but I have had years of experience in building characters for interaction with believers of all ages, starting from my time in 1995 with the Walt Disney Company through to my experience as a clown and character performing with Cirque du Soleil and Blue Man Group and theatrical companies as well. There's been a lot of mystery with creating a backstory and character, and to some people it seems to be really intimidating. But what I try to do is I try to break it down into simple components to demystify and make it accessible and possible for everyone. This could be taught in the abstract, but I have found that creating something tangible and collaboratively can help even the most overwhelmed holiday personality understand building the basic building blocks. It's building blocks. For the purposes of Monday Live with Bob and Phineas, I am using a Yeti puppet that was created for me last year as a focal point to illustrate how important creating a believable character and solid background is for telling your story as a Christmas performer. The reason why I used a puppet is to provide something that we can focus on as opposed to just talking theory out in the ether. And honestly, puppets have been shown to be useful tools for building communication, easing anxiety, and particularly with special needs individuals, and also in the healthcare environment. I know a lot of Santas and Mrs. Clauses often get asked to attend seniors' homes, group homes, and hospitals. I personally have used puppets as an entertainer and in my work in the field of healthcare, and have seen how puppets have been able to create connection with even the most reluctant and shy visitors and bring them in for a memorable visit with myself or with Santa or with Mrs. Claus. However, as a storyteller, and I view myself as a storyteller, every proper tool that I use needs to be part of my story and should have a reason for being with me as Phineas and Santa at every moment. And this is where creating the backstory and building a character can help. It's all well and good to show this neat, wonderful prop you've got, but why are you showing it to them aside from the fact it's a neat, wonderful prop? Many performers, such as the spirited Mrs. Claus, Ken Kringle, Santa Gordon Bailey, he used a stuffed toy and a squeaker. And that's puppetry. When you manipulate even a child's stuffed toy and you squeak, that is puppetry. And he created a character using that toy. And yes, even Phineas the Elf has used puppets and toys as a way of ease interactions with children through creating a connection and bridging the divide between the hesitant child and often larger than life's holiday character. I mean, I'm a 5'8", 250-pound elf. Santa Claus is a big guy with a big beard and big red suit, and often than not, their Santas are quite large. The Yeti puppet is a stand-in, be it for an elf, a Mrs. Claus, or Santa. And that is why I used it, is instead of explaining how I became Phineas, with the danger of creating 8 million Phineases out there, I use the puppet as a stand-in, and you could use the same process that I use for the Yeti puppet for your Santa character, for your Mrs. Claus, for an elf, whatever. And rather than talking about it in the abstract, I used a puppet to focus how I go about and how I teach character development and creating a backstory with a concrete example in front of you, and showing how even the physical appearance can influence your character and backstory. So with the Yeti puppet, able to provide the context of the character in the North Pole and Christmas character story. So I explained how this creature that's from Nepal or India in the Himalayan mountains ended up at the North Pole, and why they're hanging out with Santa and Phineas. I was able to show how I used research, and research is important these days. In a world where even children have instant access to information in their pockets and they can look it up faster than you can improvise story, it's important to have the information handy up here and in here. So when they ask you a question, you're not because they're going to look it up and they're going to call you on it these days. It can show how you can combine history, folklore, pop culture, and your own imagination to create a character that is relatable, believable, and compelling, which is what we want to do. We want to be relatable as our Christmas performer character. So you want to be relatable as Santa, you want to be relatable as Mrs. Claus, and also you want to be unique and engaging. You want to be their Santa. You don't want to be a Santa. You want to be their Santa, their Mrs. Claus. So it's showing how your physical appearance can be used to create a character that is uniquely yours and engaging. So over the past weeks, you have seen one method, and it's only one method, it's what I've used, of how someone can build a character and personal history. This background, this backstory acts as a guideline and framework for your interactions and whatever holiday persona you perform. And I broke it down into simple steps. We explored together how this information could be used to inform the creation of a character in a collaborative effort, and we did it together. I had lots of great input from viewers who wrote comments during the live shows. I had lots of emails and comments sent through Facebook. So I'm grateful for that, because it truly felt like we were creating something together and we were creating a character together. And we're going to continue to do it as we move along. You may never work with a puppet, but you are going to be working with an increasingly connected public who has instantaneous access to information in their pocket. You will be working with people who want an experience with Santa, Mrs. Claus, who is believable and compelling. And you will be competing with AI models of Santa and Mrs. Claus and other holiday characters who can harvest the very information that we used and are using to create Add Me the Yeti's character. AI is able to scour the internet and find information about Santa and create a believable construct that will do that. So we are going to be competing with that. We already are competing with that. There are companies creating AI construct Santas that can have phone call interactions with believers of all ages. So what I've explored with you over the past few weeks is one such way to ensure that we are providing a unique experience to believers, and even more importantly, non-believers or people who are on the cusp of not believing. And this can ensure that your personal portrayal of whatever character you are portraying will continue to be a vibrant and compelling portrayal into the future. Thank you.
Our wonderful producer has starred a comment here that I want to share with you. It comes from Sean White. She says, "This is so important, Phineas. Thank you." And I must agree. What a great segment. Love how you went through from the beginning to the end, the importance. The telephone is a great point to make, because, again, children can type that thing so fast. Like you said, you won't even be done with what you're saying, and they'll already be ahead of you. So,
Yep.
and more and more folks are using puppets and different props. Props are very important in our community, and I think that that's something that has really come to light the last 10 years. We've always used some props, but they've been elementary compared to the complexity of the props that we're using now, from compasses to different uh, things that have been developed by Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and folks in the red suit community. Amazing where this industry has went in the last 10 years, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the next 10, and especially including puppetry.
Yeah, we've
Thank you.
gone away from the glowing thumb tips all the way to even apps on our iDevices. We've got naughty nice detectors on the iPhones now and cell phones, and so we can have an interaction with people and use it to continue our story and show how we are unique as Christmas persona. So. And thank you, Betsy, for your comment. This is a beautiful explanation of what puppetry does. Puppetry is a gift. They can provide a bridge to communicate with children who are otherwise hesitant. And thank you for your lovely comment about the way I've modeled the process, because I tried to break it down in bite-sized pieces so people don't feel like, oh, I've got to build a backstory. It's not a huge, big deal. It becomes more and more complex as you learn and grow over the seasons, over the years, and all it can do is make you a better Christmas persona every year. Because as you continue with the families who you see year in, year out, they're going to ask you questions that you talked about last year. How is Rudolph's health? Like, is he had any colds recently? How is that persnickety elf that's getting in the way up at the North Pole? How is that polar bear that got lost and is now hanging out around the North Pole? So always important.
Yep. David says, great job, or good job, Phineas. At the mall, I don't have a lot of time once we get deep into the season. Early in the season, first 2 to 3 weeks, it's a little bit slower. I can spend a little bit more time. I can have some fun. I can do things different. And for several years, I would carry a little hand puppet with just one that fit over my hand. And my fingers and thumb went into the hands themselves, so I could actually wave and cover the eyes up and that sort of thing. So I made a little Christmas package, wrapped it, put a bow on it on one side, that wrapped around so that the lid would stay on it good. Cut a hole in the lid, cut a hole in the bottom, and I would have the puppet in there. I would be holding it, have the puppet come up out of the top and interact with children. It was such a hit. And I haven't taken it up for the last couple of years, but I had so much fun with that for such a long time. Just go show you the simplest. You don't have to speak. Actions alone, just a few simple actions, as Gordon did with the sock monkey, as we've all shown time and time again. This is Gordon's sock monkey that he would make squeak. Simple things can go a long way. It's amazing how much fun that you can make just the easiest and simplest of things with just a toy.
Yep.
My most memorable point is going into Buc-ee's and playing with the children with the squeaker, with the toys that are on the shelf. I've told that story a number of times. But I got to share one with you real quick, Phineas. And I used to use the telephone naughty and nice meter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a random, and it worked great. And I used it one day, and I had a young man that had come to see me a couple of years in a row, and he was with his grandmother. And he's a good kid. You could tell just right off the bat that he was just, very disciplined, very polite, and so something was mentioned. And I said, well, hang on a minute. Let's just do this. And I pulled it out, and he put his thumb on it, and it read it, and it came up naughty. And the boy almost started crying. I mean, he was like, I want to say he was 9, maybe 10. And it just broke his heart that it came up naughty on Santa's, meter. So I told him, no, let's try it again. Sometimes it's wrong, And I had never had it come up multiple times as naughty, ever. And all the hundreds of times I'd used it. And I sat there several times that came up naughty every time with this young man. My heart was breaking. I felt so bad. And, silently in my head, I asked the Lord, please, let's make this right. Please let this thing come up nice. So I told Grandma, I said, Grandma, come here, come stand next to us for a minute. And I asked the young man to step back a few steps, and I reached out, arm's length, had him push the button, and it came up naughty. And I said, well, maybe Grandma has something to do with it. Maybe she's influencing it. So I had Grandma step back. The young man stepped up, did it one more time, and it came up nice. So praise the Lord. I finally was rectified, and the young man went away with a smile on his face, and Grandma got a chuckle out of it. So I quit using it after that because I felt so bad that day. It kind of broke me of the fact that it is random. Now they do have some that aren't random. You can tilt your phone different ways. You can, different ways that you can actually control the nice or the naughty. And I would recommend using those, not a random. Okay, let's see. I guess it's trivia time. We got a winner, right, Angela?
Yeah.
All right, Phineas, let's go ahead and do that one.
So once again, the question for trivia is, what day and date is Mother Day celebrated in the United States this year in 2025? And who founded Mother's Day in the United States? And the answer to that is, of course, it is the second Sunday of May. So this year it is May the 11th, and it was Anna Jarvis who instituted Mother's Day in the United States.
That's correct. Our winner?
David Tillman.
David Milmine gets it. Fantastic, David. All right, so Phineas, I know the routine, so we'll do it the same way we've been doing it with the Canadian gifts. So if you don't mind. That's happened more than once.
And we've got a few more comments on my commentary. Sue Radloff has been trying to create a story for a sloth character that she's got, and she's finding the past few weeks very helpful. Santa Doug's comment about the sloth was, you just got to go slow and steady with the story. So that is good. And Sean also mentioned the fact that there are now 2 sloths at Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm. I got to meet Rainey last year and actually feed her. And so long story short, they now have 2 sloths at the Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm. So.
Doug says, Sue, when I hear sloth, I think of the sloth in the Zootopia kids cartoon. Cracks me up.
Yes, the sloth that runs the DMV in Zootopia. Yep.
And David has a good one here. He said, had that happen to Bob, but had Phineas with me, and he said, Santa, your phone isn't picking up the signal from the North Pole. Let's check my phone, Santa. Fantastic. Good way. Hey, it always pays to have your help with you, David.
Exactly. And the app we use, actually, you can set it to naughty or nice, and you just have to be very quick on this on the draw to set it. So
I felt so bad for that young man. It was breaking my heart, and he was so upset. He kept saying, it can't be true. And Grandma, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm just sitting there cringing the whole time thinking, oh, how can I fix this? And it finally worked out. It was finally able to give me a nice, and Grandma stepped away. And like I said, she had a chuckle because we put the blame on her. So she was the naughty one.
There you go. There you go.
She was influenced the meter.
Quick
Okay,
thinking,
fantastic. Trivia winner. Thanks again, David. He says, woohoo. Thank you, Angela. All right, don't forget to watch all the TNL Network Production 2025 list of shows this week. We got a great lineup. Go ahead and spill them out for them there, Phineas.
Okay, tonight, Monday, May 5th at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, Sean White with the Claus Connect. She will be having a mystery guest tonight, so it will be a mystery guest. Tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have Bruce and Kathy Norrid from Michigan area Santas. They are a wonderful, talented couple that are fun and delightful to watch. On Wednesday, May 7th, we have Kringle Time with the Kringle Brothers. And then coming up on May 8th, Santa Mel's Santa Magical Fellowship Group At 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern will be the general conversation. And then at 7 p.m. Central, Santa Mac, Jeff McMullen, the purveyor of Kringle U, will be speaking on Santa's Magical Fellowship.
That's right. And this week on the Kringle Brothers, it's a Yuletide Matron Day, Mrs. Claus Mother's Day edition. So you don't want to miss that. Be a great show. How many of you caught the interview with Sean White and Santa Tom down in Southeast Texas? Has a podcast, and she was his guest Saturday and did a fantastic job as always. And if you haven't caught that, go over and catch that. I'm sure she has a link on her page, I think. And be easy enough to find. If not, reach out to her and she can tell you how to watch that. It was a fantastic podcast. All right. You know what? It has been a good day. I think I'm just going to hang out in the house this afternoon and recuperate from some of the heat that I was in yesterday since it's rainy out today. You got any super plans for the rest of the day, Phineas?
No, just going to cook some dinner and hang out in the house as well because it's kind of damp and rainy here. So just enjoying a quiet evening at home tonight. Maybe playing some music. You don't know. So
sounds like Gilman. Boy, I can't believe that Mike had to learn 15 songs. That's a lot of work.
Yep, it is a lot of work, but it's always fun for Mike to be challenged. Mike always does
and
appreciate
rewarding.
Yep,
and rewarding.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Pat Mike on the back, tell him good job. Great show. Thank you, Bob, Phineas, and Angela. Kane Smith says, fantastic week to you too, my friend. We want to make sure that everyone tunes in tomorrow night for Bruce and Kathy Nord. Bruce and Kathy, as we said, is a lovely couple, funny, and it's going to be a fantastic show. Catch all the rest of the shows this week. We appreciate everyone dropping by today and hanging out with us for a while. Enjoy Mother's Day coming up this next week, and we will see you next Monday.
Wishing everybody a very happy Mother's Day and hoping everybody treats their moms well if you're able to this weekend. So thank you very much. And
Randall Santa Checker says, hello, everyone. He misses everyone, and we miss him tremendously.
We miss you too, Randall.
I might have to get with you here, Randy, pretty soon and see if you feel up to coming on and sharing some time with Phineas and myself. We'd love to have you on one afternoon if you're up to it. Just reach out whenever you're feeling froggy. Let us know.
Yep. And thanks, just to answer Santa David's question, she's got your address, Santa, because she's got my address. So
that's what we were talking about exactly. Yep. All right, we do want to say thank you to Angela Mack, our fantastic producer, and you can get her again tonight producing Sean's show. Don't forget the Claus Connect, Sean, at 6 p.m. Central. That's right, tonight, Monday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern for the Claus Connect. See everyone next week. Catch you tomorrow night. Behave yourself and stay well, my friends.
Have a good week, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Phineas.